Good morning, everyone. Let's get ourselves hooked up here. All right, so as Chip mentioned, we are going to talk about application sidecars. I'm also going to sneak in a little bit of a look at our revisions and rollback features. So that was a great intro. As you all know, sidecars, we've already talked about these. They're a pattern that the platform provides with the Envoy sidecar. And these are hooked up to every application instance just automatically for you. And that's how we get features like what Eric demoed and things like Edge Go Router to App Instance TLS. So it's a really powerful pattern and abstraction, and we want to bring that to app developers so they can take advantage of that with their applications. So for the sake of this demo, we'll sort of describe a sample use case that you might use a sidecar for. So this is just sort of an idea of an architecture someone might set up with the idea of a configuration server, where you have some centralized configuration, and then you might have a config agent sidecar. And what's nice about this is you can take something like that sidecar and put it into different types of apps. So it doesn't matter if it's a Node application or a Java application. You can use that same code to get your functionality for all these different apps. And what's cool is the interface becomes something that's within the containers, that they're well bounded, so your application can learn to talk just on localhost. It doesn't have to worry about maybe how do I authenticate with my configuration server, how do I reach it, how do I do service discovery. All that logic can be centralized into your sidecar. So this is sort of the pattern of what the demo will look like. Now the actual demo, I'm going to simplify it a little bit. I'm just going to have one application with a sidecar, and rather than reaching out to some config server, I'll just sort of be stubbed in the sidecar itself. Cool, so let's get into the terminal. And first, what I want to do is a quick CF-V, and I want to highlight a little something here. If you looked at the version of your CF-CLI anytime in the last, 4 or 5 years, what you'll see is version 6.x. Here we've got 7.0, and a special little word beta. So this is in open beta now. It actually launched, I think, a week and a half ago. And this brings a lot of these new features that we've actually been talking about streamlined into your existing workflows. So push can do things like rolling deploys and manage sidecars and everything. So this is something out there. Go ahead and play with it. And we'll take advantage of that stuff for this demo. Cool, so let's take a look. I've got an app out and running already. It's just called Summit. This will be our sort of application here. Right now, I don't have a sidecar set up for it, so that'll be what we kind of demo through. Now, this app itself is inspired by our friend Chip here. I learned he has a sort of secret passion, and through the power of the internet, I was able to get some candid photos of him sort of enjoying his pastime here. So, totally real photo. This is Chip. He's actually a big biker. So what you might see here is some of this text, and what we're saying is this application right now, it's trying to reach over localhost, and this is that whole point of the sidecars is I can work within my resources. I don't have to reach out. Now right now it's not able to reach it, so it's just showing a default image. So what we want to do is go ahead and add a sidecar to this, and the easiest way to do that is via the manifest. And so we'll take a look at this and draw your attention to this section where we have a list of sidecars. Can everyone see that all right? Yeah. Cool, so what we want to do is add a sidecar. We're going to call it config server. We're going to attach it to our web process. And the important part, we're going to provide a command. So this is expecting a binary called config server to be sitting at the root of the application. So of course, you could just copy that into your app source and push that up, and that would be one simple way to do it. But I think a more powerful way is to provide that sidecar via build pack. And so what we've done here is we've added a build pack, sidecar build pack into our list of build packs here. And I think that's a little more powerful pattern, and we'll sort of talk about that in a second. But first, let's go ahead and get our push underway. So we'll use that manifest. And because we're using our beta CLI, I'm able to add this just into our push command, and we'll get that automatic rolling deploy. And so I can sort of just show that. I'll set up a refresh here on our image. And what that means is we won't see any 404s. You might see some flashes of it refreshing, but no 404s. Cool. So while that's pushing, we'll talk a little bit more about why build packs might be a great way to deliver sidecars. They're sort of a natural CF-ism, right, build packs. And what's cool is you can put a build pack just into the system, and it's automatically available to all your developers. They don't have to do anything to go get that. It's just sitting out there, so you can add it in. So that's a really powerful way to distribute it. It's also potentially convenient whenever you might update that sidecar to a new version or something. You simply, in one place, update that build pack on your system, and every time a developer goes in and repushes through that staging process, they'll get the new sidecar code, and it'll automatically be out there. So it's a great way to simplify things. Cool. So as this push finishes up, what we're doing here is we're adding this new functionality, this new capability to our app. And we'll see that we'll be able to reach our sidecar, and rather than using a default image, we'll be able to pull in some configuration, and we'll display what that is. All right. So close. Oh man, any second. There it is. All right, cool. So now we got Chip, and he's no longer riding solo. He's got his sidecar buddy, his added capabilities there. Cool. So just to sort of take this config server idea full circle, we'll do one more thing. I actually learned that Chip, not only does he like to bike, but he's a bit of a daredevil when he does it. So we're gonna update our config real quick. We're gonna use an environment variable. One nice thing about sidecars is that same environment that's available to your app is available to your sidecars. So Chip's going to get a little crazy on us, and we're going to be able to restart. And again, we're going to be able to provide a strategy where we do a rolling update on our restart. Oops, got to put the name of the app in. All right, so this should be a little quicker. So what we're doing, that environment variable will be available to the sidecar, and the sidecar, this will be analogous to your config server making a change and pushing that out to all of your applications. And then your application being able to take advantage of that new configuration and display it out or modify how it works. And here we go. We have Chip getting kind of wild. All right. So that's our sidecar, and sort of how you can imagine how you might use that. I want to jump into revisions real quick. So this one, this is using a plugin. This isn't quite in the V7 CLI yet, but it'll be in there soon. But I'll take a look at the revisions for our application. And we'll see that over time, as we've been modifying it, we've been getting different sort of point-in-time snapshots. So I've got, say, 3 different versions out here. If I were to dig into one specifically, we'll look at our latest one, version 3. And so what is a revision? A revision is a combination of code plus configuration, so that you can snapshot these working versions at points in time. Our code being represented by this idea of a droplet, our built resource. And our configuration being things like environment variables. And sure, here we can see that this is the one where Chip's getting crazy on us. So maybe we want to look back, because this is a production application, and we need Chip to land his wheels on the ground and ride a little more smoothly. And so we can see in the previous version, same droplet, we didn't change our code. So this is nice, we don't have to roll back code, but we do want to roll back our configuration. You see here I don't have Chip getting crazy on me. So we can do something like roll back our app to version 2. And same thing, this will take advantage of our rolling deployment capabilities, but it'll also be nice because it'll take that snapshot. And if we actually look at our revisions for our app, you see we created a new revision on top that encapsulates our change, so we're always moving forward with revisions. And we'll see that we have a nice, safe, prod-ready Chip with his buddy in the sidecar there. Cool, and that's everything. Thanks.